All right. It's Jared here from Crypto Plan. And how is everyone going? And here's the question that a few of you have been asking is, when do I sell my cryptocurrencies? When do I sell my One Harmony? And I have no idea. But I'm going to try and inform you on what I'm going to be looking for to get out of all my altcoins in general, and in particular these altcoins that have no history of where they're going. So before I do that, please like the video and subscribe to the video, because that really helps me out. It's about the only thing you can do for me besides making a ton of money based on my fairly kind of accurate predictions sometimes, but sometimes just way far off. But it's all probabilities here, and it's all guesses, so we cannot be claiming based on somebody on YouTube that he said it would go to that much that we would get this much. So I am not a financial advisor, and please do not take this as financial advice. All right, so we've got the Harmony over Tether chart. This is a new coin. There is nothing on this chart that tells me where it will end up. It is in price discovery, which is a great thing for it, but there is nothing on here that tells me where it's going to go. I can't do a Fibonacci retracement and says it's going to be at $11. I can't do I can do trend analyses. I can say, well, it's moved this far, maybe it'll move that far again. So I've done that. $1.20. There's people out there that say 3.5, blah. You can do it based on market cap. So you can say, well, it's at X amount of market cap now. And if it got to a similar market cap of a coin that was similar to it, maybe it could be that price. But I think that is all complete speculation, even though this is all speculation. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to get out of my cryptocurrencies. So we've got this thing here. It is on an absolute tear, and we want it to keep tearing. But we've also got this asset up here that is not going to tear forever, because it's been on a tear since March, basically. So since that dip, it just kept going up. It kind of probably felt a bit long and boring through this region, but since the 5th of October, this thing has been going parabolic. So Bitcoin is the winner. It is the leader of the pack. It determines how the market is played out, because it's kind of like it's the spokesperson. That's the word I was looking for. It's the spokesperson for crypto. So once Bitcoin crashes, people lose confidence in general in the market. But while Bitcoin starts to crash, people are rolling profits from Bitcoin into altcoins. So there's probably another 2 weeks to a month where there will be certain altcoins that will keep running. So that's not every altcoin. That's just the ones that have enough, that traders see an opportunity where they haven't pumped yet. So they pump money down into them, and then they fire off and get that last leg out of their Bitcoin, where they might have got 600% out of Bitcoin, then pump it down to something that still has 200 or 300 or 400% to run, and they, quadruple or, massively exaggerate their gains. So that's what will be happening. And that's what we're all waiting for, right? Because we're in those coins. So we're waiting for that pressure of money to come into our coins. So that's the one thing we're looking for. And the realistic target I have for Bitcoin is 86,000. So target number one is, when Bitcoin hits 86,000, I'm going to be looking at where my altcoins are, what they've been doing. Are they moving quickly? Are they in retracements? What's going on? So I'm going to be kind of start to open my eyes once Bitcoin gets towards 70,000, and then up to that. Definitely at that 86,000, I'm like, what is going on? Especially for things like Harmony One that has no ceiling, like it's always in price discovery from now on forever. The other thing we're looking at is the total market cap. So at the moment, we have some, this idea that we could potentially go to these markers. So we could go, the total market cap could go from being 1.7 trillion to 2.95 trillion. So once the market cap starts to get up towards that in the total market cap, it's another signal to me to say, hey, what's going on here? Like there's probably going to be a bit of sideways action, maybe a correction going on. total market cap 2 once that gets up to 1.79 trillion. So it's got a little bit to run there. So once we get towards that, I'm like, this is definitely a signal that the alt season is overheated. This is definitely a signal that the altcoins are reaching their parabolic tops. So this is probably a key chart that I'll be following once we get, especially once we get over the trillion in the everything but Bitcoin market cap. That'll be a very interesting time to see what's going on. I think everything will be firing rapidly at the 1 trillion mark, and then it'll keep going rapidly. The other thing you want to keep an eye on, and we'll kind of use this V chain over Bitcoin chart here, is that there is this kind of idea that, we're going to have to use the XRP one because there's not enough data on the V chain one. So you can see that in 2 alt seasons, so there was a March alt season and there was a December-January alt season in 2017 into 2018. So on those particular points, Bitcoin would have reached its top and XRP was heading towards its top. And so therefore the XRP over Bitcoin chart spiked. So you can say that for XRP, you've got an easy indicator to say this is the end. This is the point where it's going to turn around. So you might be looking down here at this level once, for example, XRP, if it hits that. Now, XRP would be a laggard. So if this happened, you're definitely at the end of an alt season because XRP is usually the last one to fire. So probably not the best indicator. It's probably an indicator that's telling you that everything has already started retracing. So, but it's still one to keep an eye out for. And you could do this for any particular altcoin that's seen an alt season in the past. Maybe Litecoin might be, the Litecoin over Bitcoin chart might be the one you want to use, that when Litecoin spikes in its value compared to Bitcoin. And then probably the biggest chart we want to be using is the Bitcoin dominance. So down here, 8th of January 2018 is when Bitcoin was the weakest versus the rest of the altcoins. So this is saying that Bitcoin had reached its top, it was pulling back whilst the altcoins were firing to their parabolic tops. So I'm looking at a 40%. So once the Bitcoin dominance chart heads down towards 40%, and it's nowhere near there. Bitcoin has a long way to go and then a long way to pull back, and the altcoins have got a lot of moving to do before we get anywhere near that 40% mark. But once we get to that 40% mark, that is definitely a keep your eyes out, keep your ears open, start watching the charts like a hawk. If you're not already just watching them daily, you're probably going to be watching them minutely. Anyway, it's probably a good time to take some profit off everything if the Bitcoin dominance chart dips down to 40. And then there's a potential it could go to 35, and probably it will go even further this time because the altcoins are more popular. There's more use case. There's more value there. There's, people are realizing that there's higher percentages gains there. So at some point, more money will flood in there. So, you're already seeing some institutional investment in certain DeFi projects and NFTs and blah, 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 blah. So we could see this thing get real low, like even get close to 30. So that would be where you were holding that last bit of the bag to say, do you know what? The Bitcoin dominance chart's down at 30. I think that's the bottom of that. I think that right now, my alt or any alt that I'm holding, if it's still moving up, is probably very close to its top. So I'm going to sell out. And that's about it. They're the kind of indicators you're looking out for. And the other one is like when your brother, your mother, your sister, your neighbor, your taxi driver, your nurse, your doctor is saying, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about NFTs? I just bought a bag of this. Like, I'm going to be rich out of this because somebody told me that, this is the next big thing, like when you start hearing everybody that never ever spoke about it, talking about it, then that's definitely that. social indicator or that sentiment indicator that is to go contrarian. If everyone's telling you to buy it right now and it's going to go to the moon, and YouTube is flooded with numerous new channels that are saying blah 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 blah, buy my bag, that's definitely a time to sell. So anyway, that's that. But yeah, just one thing to be cautious of is that don't be sucked into needing a target. Don't be like, I've got 10,000 of this and I need it to go to 50 so that I can retire. Be realistic. Work backwards on an equation. Like, if I need 50 to retire, 50,000 to retire, or 500,000 to retire, how much of that coin do I need if it's at this point, which is realistic, So that's the better way to work. Don't be like, I want to buy this small amount of thing and I need it to go to 10,000 because it can, it should, and it would. Like, Bitcoin has taken well over 10 years to get from zero to where it is now. A lot of these altcoins have only been around 5 to 10 years and they're nowhere near it, So Ethereum, maybe that'll get to 10,000 in this bull run, maybe 20,000, but still, it takes time. So don't be getting sold this idea that your coin or your particular coin is going to the moon and never looking back, because that may not happen. So just be realistic with your targets, and you're better off walking away with some profit and maybe learning about trading and how you can multiply that into the next thing, like gold, silver, copper, that might have a 5 to 10 year bull run, So it's like, okay, so I'm not a millionaire after a year. I'm a millionaire after 4 or 5 years because I reinvested my profits into something else. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you're all doing well. Please like and subscribe the video, and I hope that gives you some insight into when to sell. Don't look for that dollar target, look for the indicators in the market of when things are getting overheated. Bye for now. I've been Jared from Crypto Plan. Bye.